Not sounding like that for you, though.
No, best day of my life.
Oh boy. All right, man. So you're at a point where you've had it. Things are still getting worse, and you are really happy with who you are, and so you want next steps. Is that correct?
Possibly, yeah. I just don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not really sure what else. I don't know what else to do
Okay. Well,
other than just keep doing what seems to be not working. I guess you know.
yeah. Well, I think that you've got to stop enabling her, right? So, you know, is she still losing her mind, getting super angry?
Not like she. No, not like in the past. I mean, she was definitely like kind of stormed off and slammed the door and went to work, but it wasn't like how it was, a month or two ago. No, it's better.
Okay. And so basically, well, then what's the actual problem right now? It's just that the intimacy, the physical intimacy isn't there? Like, how are the
That's
conversations?
not
How's the.
there. Yeah, I mean, it's like everything's good except for that still. It's like when I feel like it's exactly where it was when I first came into the program was
Well, it's not exactly
not
like it
being
was, but it's not. You see,
over.
it looks like it, but now there's all this other shit under the surface. So she started to get it out, right?
Yeah,
And then we've had some, I'm going to say, setbacks, like potentially your expectations for part of it, potentially the way
yeah,
that we enabled her, right? When you were happy wife, happy lifing, didn't give her all of the understanding, right? There was too long of this anger stuff. I mean, she still shouldn't be slamming a door now, even if it was better. It's not better. That's just precursor for when it gets worse again, right? So
yeah,
there's all this stuff out there now, right? Now she's finally been able to understand that you don't have expectations, yet she's putting that out there. So this is not the same place. This is good if you can be patient, right?
yeah,
If you
yeah.
can
Well,
keep
I want to be
showing
patient.
up
Yeah,
and backing up the guy that's not just cuddling because he wants sex, the guy that is available for partnership time but also has other shit on the go, the guy that is not losing his cool, he's responding, not reacting. This is where you get to show up and you consistently prove it. Like, even if you think about some of the the tantrums she had, right? Like, that's really what they were. And if you can think about now going forward, not getting defensive, you had so much practice, right? You're pretty much set
yeah,
up to have hard conversations and move forward. So
yeah.
if it's been really great, two things you need to think of. One, is that also because you've been gone? It's not seeing each other as much?
Could be. Yeah, I mean, I'm only home 3 nights a week right now,
That's
and
what I
I'm
thought you
gone
said,
four
yeah.
nights out of the week.
So
So
that potentially
that's
makes
partly,
things
I think,
easier.
maybe worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that could have been where some of my maybe had some expectations creep in. I hadn't seen her for a while, and last week
Yeah.
that this was the audio message I had sent you. She had something come up with work, and we were supposed to go out to this nice dinner over at the coast. And I find out at like 4 o'clock, she's like, "Yeah, I can't make it. I got this training I have to go to tomorrow." And I could tell she was, she wasn't lying, and it was just like, "Oh, I was like, it's okay, it's work. I get it. It's an emergency thing you got to do. It's not a big deal." Well, I get off the phone and I was like, "Well, fuck it. I'm not fishing tomorrow. I want to see her." So I drove over. Took
Mm-hmm.
the hour and a half drive home to see her. And that's happened twice in the last month. And I got home and it's like, it's not like I went home to expect her to just be like, "Oh my God, you're here. I love you. I can't believe you did this." But it was like the first time I did it, she was like mad at me. She was like, "Why didn't you tell me you were coming home?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I tried to surprise you. I thought you'd be happy." you
Well,
know? And then this last time, it kind of went the same way. I messaged her so I didn't surprise her. I was like, "Hey, I'm on my way." So, I was like, "I'll be there in an hour and a half. I'll pick up dinner on my way." And was trying to be super nice and just, I don't know, it just kind of went weird. Like
okay,
very
so like you're,
yeah,
but this does feed into, like, are you moving forward, right? You made plans, and right now maybe you're not doing a bunch of the other work. I mean, I think it's important. I think you should, right? Theoretically, she's getting more time alone. She shouldn't be mad. I know Catherine doesn't like surprises either. Like, I was planning her 40th because she missed it with COVID, or because we moved. Sorry, that's what it was. And so then didn't have all of her friends or whatever, right? So I was planning to surprise her, get all the people down to Kelowna, see her and everything like that. Well, she doesn't like surprises, but she's not treating me poorly, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so,
I mean, it wasn't that she was treating me poorly. It was just a very surprising response, I guess. You know, it's just kind of one of those like,
well, that's
wow,
why you're
all right.
questioning your expectations. That's why you feel the
Yeah.
need to let me know that I didn't really have any expectations. I just wanted to surprise her. Wasn't really the reaction I was expecting. All that's cool, but what you're missing is that all ties in with, do I want to learn to communicate better? That the stuff that you planned, that you guys organized to move forward, right? That all ties in with,
For her.
well, you guys making a plan, right? She was not learning to communicate. She was smashing iPads and slamming doors, right? So, like that, we were going worse. So you had to. Do you remember you had to get her organized, and then she didn't want to do it because she's too tired from work, and then she's too tired to hang out, and then we had this big conversation about, well, what do you want out of marriage, right?
Yeah.
And so that all ties in with not being surprised, and sorry, being happy about being surprised, right? If you're saying things are great, but we're together less, she's not necessarily happy if I come home early or whatever, like all of a sudden my mind is going like, are we needing to have that conversation about where we're going here? But here's the thing, if you can slow that down, right? Because you're going to be coming home and being home regularly again, right?
Yeah. Yeah, next week.
Okay, even better, soon, right? So go home and get back into the groove again. What does that look like for her? Does she start pushing you away? Does she still make excuses like everything else is more important than a marriage? Right? That's the stuff that you need to find out. And you're going to be able to you're going to be able to have those conversations when you're in the normal structured life again, right? It's not like that's the only way, but for you, that's your normal structure. You live together every day. You don't work out of town normally, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah, that's true.
I would get into a more comfortable groove, back to normal. We've made some leaps and bounds here. Let's see what that looks like. And now you have the skills. I'm pretty sure I feel very confident that you're not going to lose your mind being defensive over things. I'm not saying you'd be perfect, but like having some of these conversations should go a lot more smoothly, i.e., you're showing up more of this man that you're proud of, i.e., you can start to identify, is she checking the boxes or is she still going backwards here? Or is it happening again?
Yeah.
Now remember, we can hold her accountable for that too. You guys made a plan, right? And at the end of the day, this is what we talked about a few weeks ago. At the end of the day, you know what you want. You can't force her to check the boxes, right? So we were almost at a position where it's like, well, what do you want here, babe? Like, do you want to be married, or it sounds like you want to be single? That's what I need to know. Where is she at right now? Before I would go into too many decisions, right? But we can't. We can ask her about stuff like that, but first we need to spend some time together, like normal.